Good morning and welcome. Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to Fight CPS with your host, Bob Pace. You found me on Facebook. I'm glad you did, because here we're going to try to help you with your CPS case. I'm on twice a day. In the morning, I'm on the weekends at 8 a.m. On the weekdays, I'm on at 10 a.m. That's Monday through Friday. Then in the evenings, I have another show called Fight CPS, Stop Taking Our Children. And that's on every night at 7 p.m. at night. And I love to have you, come to both. I welcome the old and the new. Uh, I've always have new faces, but I also have some regular people that are like called family. They call me Uncle Bob. Anyway, you're welcome to come in the show and participate either by texting messages or being a guest on my show or calling in to my phone number. And that's how you can interact. Also, you can leave emojis like smiley faces and hearts and thumbs up, even send me stars. Please check the follow button below to follow me and make any reviews. I love the reviews. And then if you want to be notified, don't forget to check the notification button there. So I've been doing this consistently since October 2023. Twice a day I come on here to try to talk and help you with your CPS case. Now, what I call the CPS is the Child Protection System. It's a government entity that was started in 1962 to have every county and every state have an organization that protects their children from neglect and abuse. That's what Congress wanted to do in 1962. So they put the emphasis on social services to be the one that would create the group of caseworkers that deal with families and their children. Now, you know, fight CPS. It sounds terrible that you have to fight an organization, but sadly, this organization, many of the counties have turned rogue, meaning they're more interested in the money than they are protecting our children or helping out with families that are in need of help. See, that's what social services is all about. They're supposed to give you food and shelter and clothing, transportation, education, and medical, even help you find a job. And they're supposed to protect our families and our children from neglect and abuse. And if there is a problem, they're supposed to do what's called family reunification. It sounds good on paper, you know, but it's the follow through, the carry out, because you'll find that many of the child protection systems are not governed by any group of directors or supervisors or board of directors or anything. It's pretty much a free will deal from the federal government to the state and from the state to the county. That's the way the money flows. It's $1 trillion business. It's all about money. And they take the government money based on the children that are involved and the kinds of children. If they have special needs children, they get an extra bonus. There's a lot of bonuses and a lot of incentives that are given to social workers that look at this as a money job. It should be that way. It should not be that way. Now, this is the interactive live stream. And one of the things I mentioned was, to text me a message. It should be either a comment or it should be a question about CPS. Please state your first name, your city or county, your state, and if you're outside the United States, and many of you are, as I have right now, 23 countries, including the United States, that have talked on my live stream or text on my live stream, as you want to say. Also, um, uh, when you do the first time and text a message, please tell me about your case. Start with a knock at the door and to where you're at the moment so that I can help you. Now, good morning, Classic Monday. Mummy, you were on yesterday evening. I remember the name, Classic Monday, and welcome. And thank you for the good morning. I agree, Classic Money. I know how hard it is. Could you help me out because I can't remember where you're from? If you could tell me your city or your county and your state, Classic Money. I think you're from Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I think you're from Georgia. But anyway, I'm here to help educate you if you don't know anything about CPS. I think a lot of you do know. Their typical MO is to have a report come in either from a mandated reporter or from a lay person. Now, these two kinds of reporters are different. The mandated reporter or the professional is someone who's trained and educated in how to protect our children from neglect and abuse. They're required by law because of their job to report That's like doctors and nurses. It can be school teachers and counselors, or it can be firemen and policemen. If they come out to a disaster or they stop someone over, they always look at children if they buckled in right with their car seats. Are there signs of bruises or hurt or things? They're required by law. The other kind of person is the lay person, your neighbor, your family member, the person down at the store, acquaintances, so forth. They too can report. But the lay people are different than the mandated reporter. They use CPS as a weapon to retaliate against the neighbor because their dog's barking or because the yard's overgrown or something. So they'll falsify a statement, which is a bad thing to do. We don't need to falsify child abuse. It is out there. It's happening all the time. 2 nights ago, a illegal alien tried to run off with the parents' child in the middle of New York City, and the parents saw it. They tracked him down, ran him down, and held him until the police came 4 minutes later. They got their child back. It was very traumatic. There's so many cases of where this is happening, that children are being abducted or they are being abused. A father goes to the mall, leaves his 2 kids strapped in the car, young kids, and he comes back an hour later, and of course the police had to break in, and the people in the parking lot reported it. The kids looked very different, and they were very hot. There was 117 in that car. 117. Those 2 boys almost died. Of course, the father was taken in for neglect. There was a mother that posed to drop off her 5-year-old in a daycare, and somehow she forgot about him and left him in the car. He died. He died. Yes, the death is a tragedy, but the tragedy is it could have been prevented. So there is neglect. There is abuse that takes place. 75% of the cases are neglect, and 25 are abuse. Last year, the 4,200,000 reports of child abuse or neglect by the professional reporters, half of them were false. 2 million were false. And that were done by professional. So it tells me it's 50-50 now that the professionals are getting it right. Then the lay person, I think, is about 99% right, because most of the time it's for retaliation or alienation, or trying to get a spouse who's going through a divorce, retaliate and try to alienate the kids from them. So it's a very serious business, as CPS is. And most of you are really having a hard time fighting it. Hello, Christina Reynoso. Christina Reynoso is from Las Vegas, Nevada. A very wonderful lady who helps a lot of people. She's helped me in my grievance with my daughter. Yes, Classic Mommy is from Georgia. I did remember. Yeah, Georgia. And Classic Mommy says, I've been arrested. They arrested my husband and I. And you guys talked on the show, coerced into signing my safety plan, even though the family was on site to take my kids. They said we had to sign or lose our children. I hate that when they do that. They held you hostage. And of course, right away, the first thing you should do is contact a lawyer. You should contact a lawyer. You want to contact a lawyer, that is for sure. They had to spend 4 days in jail without understanding why I was there. Well, you're supposed to be read your rights. You're supposed to be able to get an attorney. It looks like they illegally arrested you. 7 months later, both my kids are home and no evidence presented in the CPS hearing. Well, you could do a civil lawsuit against them. You could do a civil lawsuit against them. Now, another way to interact in this live stream is to be a guest. All you have to do is contact my show producer, Grace, at vincentwdavis.com. I have 14 live streams, and I've been talking to you for 21 months, and I've talked to over 2,200 people. And to let my show producer know which one of the shows you want. I have 14 a week. You can say I want Bob's Sunday night show or Bob's Friday morning show or Bob's Wednesday night show. I'm on morning and evenings, 7 days a week. So you let her know, and I'd love to have you as a guest. As a guest, I can take 9 of you. 9 of you with me makes 10, and we can all talk. I had a guest on last night, or was the night before. It's sometimes hard to remember these things. But anyway, I had a lovely guest. Uh, uh, I had Samantha Bernardo from Santa Barbara, and her and her husband are having a petition because they've been rounding up all her children. They're illegally doing what they're doing in Santa Barbara County, California. And it was great to have her on because she talked about her case. I love to have you guys ask me questions or to ask me to talk about a subject or be a guest because it helps make the room a lot more informative and it helps you all there. So she'll send you a link to StreamYard, which is the application I use, and you can copy and paste it, and you're on the live stream. Now, if you get knocked off, you just copy and paste it again. And she'll tell you about the rules, like no eating or smoking, no profanity, and we do not say the names of children or judges or social workers. That is all to be a guest. Another way that Another way to interact with this live stream is to call in to my number. It's 626-698-0990. That means my phone's live. It doesn't have to be a federal attorney. It has to be an attorney that has a background in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law, that has fought CPS, a civil rights attorney who can file a lawsuit. I have such an attorney, Mr. Davis, who I mentioned before. Now, his picture is in the upper right hand corner, and he's the one that created this live stream. And I've been working for him since I hired him as my attorney. And he is an excellent attorney, and he's won numerous lawsuits and won millions of dollars, both in state court and federal court. And you can go and get a federal attorney, and you can go right away to do a federal lawsuit. But any attorney don't have to be federal. There's no, I mean, I've yet to see anything about you have to have a federal attorney to do a lawsuit against CPS. I think it's better in federal court than state court to sue them because the states are so corrupt themselves. When you have a governor or governors, I mean, there's 3 or 4 governors that are corrupt. It's all about politics. It's all about politics. But you should go ahead and do that. Do not stop. Go ahead and file a lawsuit. You need to do it. It's hard. It is really hard. I have a grievance lawsuit that Christina has helped me with. I'm trying to put it together because my daughter was robbed of her father. I'm 75 years old. I'm a dinosaur. But I'm a loving father and a husband. And I want to help you. People ask me, why do you do this? Why do you do this for 21 months, twice a day? It certainly isn't about wages or Bangladesh wages anyway, and I'd be lucky if I need to get paid for a month of work. It comes in a month later. Anyway, I do it because I was wrongly accused and my daughter was robbed from me. My daughter, who was 12 years old at the time, never once ever got a chance to talk to her dad or be with her dad. You know, there's some important things that Christina brought out, things called ancestry. It's so important for children to know their roots. What is really wrong with people thinking they don't need their biological parents? Studies have shown the best parents to raise children are the biological parents. But you can brainwash people to think it any way you want. That's the sad part. You can alienate children from their parents. And that's against the law, alienation. You can traffic children into foster care. And trafficking is against the law. But CPS gets away with alienation. They get away with trafficking. I mean, there's things that the stupid government does. I don't know. In 1997, President Bill Clinton signed into law the Incentive Act, which basically says that child protection systems will be rewarded with $35,000 per child for every child they have get into adoption and foster care. They said that, it was too long to wait for children to go through family reunification, which is wrong. They do crazy things. They force them to sign plans, signing something. That's coercion. You should never be forced to sign anything in life. You should be able to ask questions intelligently. You should be able to do things. The thing is, they treat you so bad. They treat you so bad. The social workers are not really people person. I notice that because I deal with social services at all different levels. And they are being investigated. Yes, the government agencies are being investigated by DOGE. It's the Department of Government Efficiency. One of the first things that our new president did was create a new government department to weed out all the wasteful spending and the people abusing the government system. See, the sad thing about government is many of the workers were lazy. Many of them were getting paid for doing no work. And our money is suddenly just depleted. So he wanted to protect the people's interests by having an investigation to cut down wasteful spending to find out. And right now, social services is being investigated. Social services is the main department that takes care of all the needs for family and help protect our children. Children welfare has been going on for 400 years. We've been always concerned about the welfare of our children. It's never been thought not to, but for a long time we used them as economy of doing work around the farm. Children were uh, always told to go to school and so forth. They had children work in the mines at 5 years of age. They had sweatshops in the 20s and 30s where children would work 60 hours. Now, it's changed a lot. Welfare of children have gone through, and they divided into three parts of history. From 1600 in early colonial days to 1875 is part one. And why they picked 1875 is I can always theorize. They did say, I did read somewhere where they said that societies were starting to take care of the children. Children were roaming helplessly. Helplessly, they're roaming. uh, Classic Mommy says, I can be a guest after my case ends next week. Retaliation is real. Okay. All right. I'd love to have you as a guest, Classical Money from Georgia. And we have Christina Reynosa from Las Vegas, Nevada, listening. Thank you, Christina Reynosa, for your emoji of your heart. I love that. Thank you very, very, very much. Now, my phone number is up, which means you can call in live at 626-698-0990. There's another number, and I have the messages showing up on the screen. I'll take it away. That 888-888-6582 is the law office of Vincent W. Davis. You can call there for your lawyer needs in any areas of the law. Not only child protection systems, but immigration, real estate, criminal, divorce, etc. So you call there. Also is a good place for getting resources and knowing when Mr. Davis will do a live stream or someone else does. There's several people who do live streams. We have shows regularly on Mondays and Wednesdays. Mine are twice a day, 7 days a week. And then we have special times where special shows are done. Vincent does a show called Office Hours during the week, and on the Saturday, he does a show in the morning right after my show. That's why I'm early on Saturday to give him time for his show and people that attend it. So you call in and ask them, and then when you talk to them, tell them Bob Pace sent you, and you should be talking to reception. You be talking to reception. Some other things that when you call in, you can ask for is guides and books to help you, and anything you can think about. There's also web pages that has information that can help you. There's a new parent guide for grandparents. It's called The Guide for Grandparents Step by Step in California to Adopt Your Grandkids. It's available at a website called stand.store. Now, that website, stand.store, has other things besides the guide there. It has other books and other lawyer packages with Mr. Davis. So it's a useful website to go to. And another website we have is the main, excuse me, we already did that one. I'm sorry. Another one we have is vincentwdavis.com. That's his homepage. It'll tell about his office, about what they have, and so forth. It's a very good website to go there. And if you forget about the sand.store website, it's right below Vincent's picture. It's on my page up there in the upper right hand corner if you're facing the screen. No, Mr. Davis can work all 50 states. He will do all 50 states. He just has to pay a license fee when he goes to each state. It's very expensive. Let's say a license fee is $1,000 or $10,000. So if you have 50 states, you know, that's that's a lot of money. 1,000 apiece is $50,000. So you wouldn't want to renew that every year. So you only do it when you have a case there. But it's not hard to get a license. Once you have a law degree and you have a license in one state, it's easy to get a license in another state. I don't know if the fees are 10,000, which is 500,000. So I don't know. Not 500,000. What am I saying? I don't know my math. So you get 250,000. But anyway, he can practice in every state of the country. Now, Christina Reynosa is going to say something which is good. And while I'm doing that, I want to put down some of the benefits you get with Mr. Davis. Now, Christina Reynosa says, I roamed helplessly for a while, from 15 to 2 months shy of my 17th month. This is where I almost was adopted and would have been my 17th school from 12 to 16. I've been in 16 different schools. You see, Christina Reynosa is opening up about her life. She once was a foster child. That's the first thing I've ever known. That from the ages 12 to 16, she was a foster child and she's roaming. I'm not sure if she's put in homes or what stories about it, but she's opening up, which is good, Christina. See, that's another thing I'd like to emphasize to all you parents out there. If you're in foster care as a child, make sure when you turn 18 that you clear your record. Because if you don't, that data will be kept and used against you when you grow up. They'll get your child. I have so many mothers on here that once were foster mothers that are getting their children, And, um, you know, it's so important that you clean your record. Also, if you're an adult and you won your case with CPS, you got to make sure it's cleared too. If you admit guilt or you found guilty, you can't remove it. But if you're found not guilty and they took away the case from you, make sure you get removed. Also, as a child, when you turn 18, one of the first things you should do is that you should get yourself your record expunged. And to do so, you need to contact an attorney. There is information online of how to expunge your records. But that's a life skill I'd like to tell you about. A lot of you don't realize that. A lot of you don't. There's a lady called Megan Wilson in Wilmington, Delaware. That's in her 40s. She was still at CPS control her life by giving her drugs at 40. And they were trying to take away her child, or they did. They do haunt you. I know another lady in Richmond, Kentucky, Faye Bailey, who's trying to take care of her special needs son, going through all kinds of heartaches. Her child, her girl, she had to make a choice to either keep the girl or keep the son, and she chose to keep the son. It's terrible that CPS puts you in that situation. It's terrible. You're from kindergarten to 16 as a foster kid. Okay. That's a long time. That's a long time. Gotcha. Gotcha. It's okay. It's okay. I'm glad that you're able to talk a little bit about that. Um, you were made a ward of the court. Wow. You definitely had a hard life there, Christina. The more I know about you. Now, I have a message on the window here I've been trying to do on my screen. One of the benefits that I have presented is a couple things. If you call in or you guest on my show, you get a free 15-minute private Zoom meeting with Vincent Davis. He'll do that. I know down below it says $15 for a private call from attorney Vincent Davis. That means he'll talk to you on the phone. But that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a free 15-minute private Zoom consultation with Mr. Davis about anything you want to talk about your legal matters. And that's if you're a guest or you call in. Now, for 15 minutes enough time and you want 30 minutes for $60, you get a private Zoom. All you have to do is go to that website, candidly.com, and put in the information and register your time, pay with your credit card. It's simple. He's $500 an hour, and he's a mid-range attorney. I've heard attorneys as low as $200, as high as $1,000. There may be more than $1,000, but that's usually kind of if you want a Beverly Hills attorney or somebody that thinks it's more about money than doing cases. You know, being an attorney is a good profession. It gets you good money. But sometimes it gets greed to you, and sometimes you want to charge. So Mr. Davis could charge a lot. He could charge $1,000 easily because he knows the law well. He's trained in school he's been fighting CPS for 39 years. He once was a foster child himself. He's of mixed blood. His mother was Japanese, his father was black. And he was in foster care for a long time as a child. So he knows how the foster care system works. But he's trained and educated in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. He has a license, a professional license. He's also a trial attorney. He does trials. And he's a civil rights attorney because he does lawsuits. When your case is closed, he'll file a lawsuit against CPS. He's won millions of dollars. He's gotten thousands of children back. He's the real deal. And he'll practice in any state, not only California, but any state. So he's there to help you. And he can do this 30-minute Zoom if 15 is not enough time. He's not a clock watcher, but he'll give you 30 minutes like that. Now, I put my number back up because I really love to have you talk. I've been talking now for 43 minutes. It's getting close to 9 o'clock is when my live stream ends, which is approximately 8 minutes. I have a running clock and then I have the show clock. And I'm so glad that Christina, that you shared your life here. That's so good. I don't know what it was like to be in foster care because I never experienced. All I know is what my children went through. It was hard on them. It was hard on my children. It really was. So rule number one is always get an attorney. They're going to try to tell you to use their court-appointed attorneys, mainly because they attack people. We all have something in common. It's called income. CPS wants to get you because they can control you. If you're low income, they can control you because you won't get an attorney. And one of the other life skills I was talking about is get legal insurance. It's very important that you get legal insurance. And you say, what legal insurance? Sure. They have insurance for homeowners and renters if your contents get burned or lost or stolen. They have medical insurance to help you with your medical bills. Not only do they have medical insurance, they also have pet insurance for your pet bills. They have appliance insurance for all your household appliances like washers and dryers and central vacuum and all kinds of stuff. That's unbelievable. I just think about my forever home. I had a central vacuum in my forever home. A central vacuum. Wow. Oh boy. I lost my forever home. That's why I reminisce about it. But anyway, I'm telling you to look into it. There's two companies I've found that do legal insurance. Now, uh, there is legal insurance. Some range from 50 cents to $1 a day, $365 premium. There's all kinds of things you have to think about, but we don't. You need the money to pay for an attorney. There's no way you're going to come up with $50,000 or $100,000 or $25,000. You have to sell your home, which I did. It was terrible. After working 45 years, I sold my home, my forever home that I'll never see again. I don't know. Maybe if I win my lawsuit, I can get my home, not the same home, but anyway, because the people that stole my home ruined it. They took out all the landscaping and they ruined everything about it. It's not the same anymore. Also, bring back bad memories there. So I don't know. My families are growing up. My youngest is 19. My oldest is 47. I have 6 children I've helped raise. But they don't want no more part of me and my wife. My two youngest are still living with me. I'm still taking care of my family. One is 25, one's 19. But they were young. One was 14, and another one was 4 years of age, I guess, when they first started getting involved in CPS. It was hard. Boy, it was hard. It was 10 when he was involved, 10 or 9. I think it was 9. Yeah, he was 9 years old. When my youngest son asked the other day, he was upset with me about, I forgot what he was upset about. But he says, why did you put me into foster care? And I said, I didn't put you into foster care. Children don't understand. You're the blame. You're the blame of everything. The classic mommy from Georgia says, Tiff and Punisher. Beauty and ashes, all channels fighting CPS corruption. Yep, people are trying to fight. I know that Sandra is trying to do a petition up in Santa Barbara County against CPS. There was petitioners lined on the steps of the Capitol in Sacramento a year ago, December of 2024. Not necessarily a year ago, maybe a half a year ago, whatever. But we got to make changes. We got to make changes. In order to make changes, we have to join groups and support one of the others. And this room is also a very supportive group here. Hi, Dorothy Cook. Glad to see you in the background. Dorothy Cook is from North Carolina. They have over 100 counties. And I found that California only has 58 counties. So I don't know why North Carolina has more counties than California. I thought California was a bigger state, but a lot of California is in the desert, Death Valley. I mean, I didn't realize that. It's funny when you look at the world, and I'm a world traveler, and I've been to over 50 countries. I've lived in about 10 of them. And I've been to some countries 25 times or more. But they were talking about in Australia about two cases back to back. One was a young woman who broke down in her van in the mud in the outbacks of the Western Australia, which is really wild out there. And she was found okay, but they had to rush her to the hospital. Some people encountered her out in the bush. It's hard out there. But there was a boy who had gone surfing at a beach and disappeared and ended up spending the night on an island 7 miles off the coast. There's so many different places. I look around the world. There's so many different lands out there. It's a big place, the world is. And to be a world traveler as I am, I have a lot of life skills I can share with you about traveling. Um, Christina says, I've not yet sent my grievances to the DOJ. Well, you need to send it to not only the DOJ, you need to send it to the Doge. You need to file it in federal court. The DOJ, the White House. Doge is the White House. Now, Kenneth Radford just came on, and lawyers act like they don't want to go with you to court. Well, you got the wrong kind of attorney. If you're talking about court appointed attorneys, they're worthless. I'm sorry to downplay them, but they are. From experience, my court appointed attorney was a woman. I'm not against women, I'm not against men, but that attorney didn't want to work. They have a caseload of 30 to 100 clients. It's impossible to devote time to your client. And they're not properly trained. They're trained in criminal law. This isn't criminal law. This is law in the areas of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Those are the three areas of law you need to be dealing with. Kenneth, I have no idea where you're from. We'd like to know where in the world that you're calling, that you're texting from. All I need to know is your city, our county, and your state. If you're outside of the United States, your country. And by the way, I've had, 23 countries, including the U.S. I've had Indonesia, Bangladesh, India. I've had the Middle East with Saudi Arabia and Libya. Then over to Africa, I've had Liberia, Sudan, Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Mozambique, and then even South Africa and its several provinces. Then up to Europe, I've had the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales. and then Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond to North America, I've had Canada and its provinces. And the United States and all 50 states have called in, including Washington, D.C., and south of border, Mexico. And then further south in South America, north of Brazil, and the East Coast, Grenada. Then across the South Pacific, I've had New Zealand and the land down under Australia and its states. So I've had a cross reference of people around the world. Over 2,200 people have contacted me so far. And I get more every day. Like today, I have 2 or 3. I keep adding. I'm getting close to 2,300 people. Oh, Kenneth, you're from North Carolina. Well, then you should meet Dorothy Cook. Dorothy Cook is from North Carolina, and she's on here all the time. She's part of family. So, Dorothy, I know you're out there because you sent me an emoji. But Kenneth Radford is from North Carolina, too. Now, North Carolina just passed some good stuff on the 26th with the child welfare. Go to the 26th, look up the new laws that went into place in North Carolina on June 26th. I try to be well versed in the child protection system and how families should be treated and how family reunification should be. You see, CPS is a very complex agency. Fighting CPS is just like doing open heart surgery. You need a professional doctor to do open heart surgery. You need a professional attorney. Your court appointed attorney or your public defender will not do the same job as your hired attorney that has a background in juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. Now, I have 5 rules. I've already talked about one, hire an attorney. And real quickly, rule number 2 is documentation. Documentation. One of the most important documents is creating a time log of incidents that happen is so critical. Then rule 3 is to say no to social workers and police. If your door is closed, your castle's closed up. That's your drawbridge. Don't allow anybody in the home. If you don't know them, don't answer the door. And make sure your family members know the same rule. Have a special knock or a special ring to let family members in. But keep your door locked and don't answer it. You never know who's on the other side of that door. And too many people have been shot needlessly. A black airman in Greenfield, Florida, a year ago, in May 3rd, was shot 5 times in the chest by a Gainesville sheriff. Yeah, they fired him, but that's all they're going to do. He's being sued in a civil lawsuit, but that will bring back the black man that was shot at the age of 23, talking to his fiance on FaceTime. She's going to remember it all her life that her fiance was killed and died on the phone to her. That's a horrible, 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 horrible thing. Anyway, we're getting close to the end of my live stream. It's 9 o'clock, and I do have to close down the show. I hate to do that. I don't know why it's I guess I'm 8 minutes late on my show started today because I show 59 minutes of running time. But I do have to go. I want to thank Kenneth Radford from North Carolina for being a part of the show. I hope you come back again. And Christina Reynoso, I'm so glad that you talked on my show or text on my show here and all the help that you do. She's from Las Vegas, Nevada. And Kenneth, make sure you look up Dorothy Cook from North Carolina. And Classic Mommy from Georgia, I want to hear more about your story. I'm so glad you came and dropped by. These are regular people that have been to my show time after time. So I want to thank all of you for checking in on me and sharing this morning with me. Hopefully you learned something. And we have Cruella comes in at 9:08. You're 8 minutes late. You're actually an hour and 8 minutes late, Cruella. Hi, she calls me Uncle Bob. Cruella is from Oxnard, California. She comes here all the time. And it's sooner than late, but I have a question. All right, what is your question? Go ahead, Cruella, get your question out because I have to sign off. Thank you, Classical Mommy. Thank you. Thank you, Kenneth, too. Cruella, what is your question? She is a single parent who's being evicted out of her home by her brother. Her mom's missing. She was a caregiver for her mom. Her grandmother's trying to help. And she has two babies her dad took that will give them back to her. So she has a terrible case. So, Cruella, I got a letter from the sheriff, knows to quit or knows to vacate. They're trying to evict you, Cruella. You have so many days that you're going to leave that place. Your chance in court without a lawyer, they're going to ask you to leave. And if you don't leave, they'll bodily take you out of your home. They've gone ahead and instituted, so I guess your grandmother's not helping you, and your brother is instituting that against you. You need legal advice. But the judge decided I had to leave. I don't know why you have to leave. I don't know what the grounds are. I don't know about a probate court. But when a sheriff gives you an eviction notice, you have to take it seriously. You need legal help, Cruella. You need legal help. I know all about evictions. I know about sheriffs and what they do there. That means the judge has already made a decision that you have to vacate the premises. That's the formality the sheriff gave you notice. I think it's 3 days notice that you have to get out of the house with all your belongings. They're evicting you out of the house, which is wrong. I'm so sorry, Cruella. I know you can't find any legal representation. Kenneth, I know you need to talk to Dorothy Cook. And Dorothy Cook's on, and she'll be on again tonight, you guys. You can talk again tonight. Dorothy Cook will talk to you. Cruella, did you talk to Vincent Davis? I know you've talked to my show. Have you a chance to ask him how do you stop eviction or how do you get there? You need to Google all you can right now. Uh, Cruella, Felicia, you need to Google how to stop eviction from a sheriff. Do that. Type in Oxnard, California, CPS, how to stop eviction from a sheriff. Google that right now, Cruella. Why can't you talk to Vincent Davis about those issues? Yeah, she's in the background, but she's busy at the moment. But Dorothy Cook will be on. She's on twice a day. Oh, you have to July 22nd. Well, you need to have a stop put to that eviction. Go online, Cruella. Felicia, go online. Go online. You need to go online. There's a thing right here called How to Stop Eviction in California. California law provides tenants with specific rights and procedures to challenge or delay eviction. These protections ensure that a landlord cannot simply change the locks or move your belongings without a court order. Understand your options, the legal timeless approach. Responding to eviction notice. The eviction process begins when a landlord serves a tenant. Well, you're already beyond that. A 3 day notice to pay a rent or cure, for example. That's the notice. Legal grounds for challenge and eviction. A landlord may not file an eviction lawsuit. How can your brother be a landlord? Your brother doesn't own the house. Your mother owns the house. Where is your mother? You need to find your mother. There's so much information here. The unlawful detainer court process, uh, bankruptcy will halt eviction. If you file Chapter 11 or 13, bankruptcy will halt it. The fee for bankruptcy in federal court can be waived if you're indigenous, meaning that you're poor. You can have that fee waived, and you can file a now use bankruptcy to halt eviction. That will help you. That will help you, give you time. I would like to talk to you more, Felicia, but you need to come to me later tonight, all right? You're preaching to the choir. You need to go online and look it up, all right? I do have to go. Well, it has nothing to do with your mom. You need to file bankruptcy. But your mom is the legal owner of the house. If your mom did not file eviction, your brother is, it's wrong. It's wrong. Okay? So talk to me tonight, you guys. Uh, you know, Dorothy Cook. There's a fellow on here. Thank you for still being around here, Dorothy Cook. He's from North Carolina. He needs your help. His name is Kenneth Radford. Kenneth, Dorothy Cook is here. There's her name, Dorothy Cook. You look her up on Facebook. We don't know Dorothy. I don't know if her brother's taken over her mother. Her mother is special needs, and Cruella was taking care of her mother. Her brother's the problem. Her brother and her sister don't get along. So anyway, I do have to go. It'd be at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. It's on the west coast of California. So if you're in North Carolina, it's going to be 10 o'clock your time. 10 o'clock your time. I'll be on. And Dorothy will look you up. Dorothy will look you up, Kenneth Radford. She will help you. She just said that. So, Kenneth Radford, you're in good hands. Dorothy is from North Carolina. She'll help you. And Cruella will help you. Call in again at 7 o'clock, Felicia. 7 o'clock, Cruella. Okay? And we will also, you need to start talking on the show, Cruella, and don't come at the last minute. Try to come in between my hours. But I do have to go. I've already gone over, it's now 8:18 or 9:18. I've gone over 18 minutes, and Vincent's show will start soon. So I got to go, you guys. So with that being said, don't forget to keep fighting for your child. Don't give up. Never give up. And remember, your child is very precious to you. And with that being said, I want you to have a great day. God bless you all. And I will see you tonight at 7 p.m. There will be a brief message from my attorney, Vincent Davis. Please listen to him. God bless you. And
a vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the
last ones left. Put your faith